Okay, as I said, we got the basic functionality working. So we're going to go ahead and start with the detail. We're going to kind of wrap up with logging out because we're going to actually hit all the pages. So we're going to do log out last. All right, so with student detail, all we're going to do is if you look at our NGF, we're going to add some detail. Now, we don't need this for routing, right? But as we did earlier, if you look at our login component, we actually do set a admin, right? And you go, why did we do that? Well, very quickly, we're going to have pages that depend on admin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set, and this is just going to make my life easier, is to set an admin boolean, and we're going to set it to false. And if admin, I already forgot. Off guard uses it. Boom. If there's an admin field set in admin set in storage, what are we going to do? We're going to set admin to true. I'm sorry, I'm going to fix it in a minute. It bothers me that it's not formatting correctly. All right. I'm going to set that admin field to true. Why is that important? Very simply, we come back here. We're going to add, you see they have the student GPA. If it's okay, GPA, blah, blah, blah. Well, what we're going to do essentially is we're going to have another field here. And quite simply, if it's an admin, we're not obviously I could show it in red. We're going to show the advisor. Right? Right. Doop, doop. Student dot advisor, right? You wait a second, it doesn't work. Well, yes, but let me show you why. Because we haven't actually updated the string here. Okay? Sorry, my throat. All right. So student.advisor, obviously we don't care about fonts. Remember, it's just going to go get one and yay. So I think we're the admin and sure enough, there's your advisor. Okay. I'm going to log out. Actually, no, I'm not going to log out. I'm going to log in. And this time I'm going to log in as Ruth. We know Ruth is not a supervisor or not an advisor. So when I go to detail, we don't see the advisor name. Okay. Pretty simple, right? Right. Okay. Student detail for admin is going to show different things in the student detail. And that was a pretty simple one. Just a simple NGF. I urge you always, or not always, but as often as possible to set a flag as opposed to trying to do this inside the code. Could you do that? Yes, but it's not usually good idea, right? So I usually set a flag. The next time I do this on the add student page, we're going to have a um, I'll show you what I mean in a second. On the add student page is our next one. We're going to actually have a field. We're going to do a lot of this stuff in the background. So we'll do the add student in the background for the most part. But we have a new form control that we have to deal with. So let's add it. A couple things we want to add about the validators. We can add it anywhere. We don't have to add it somewhere special. In fact, I can add it here. Um, right? So what I'm going to do here is um, Uh, I don't know if I want to do it in the constructor. Yeah, we'll do it in the constructor. Okay. Um, if, all right, so there's a guard, so we have it. Um, Trying to think about how I want to do it. I'm sorry. So first of all, I want an admin flag, and I want that to be set to Boolean. And then I want an advisor field to be set to string. Okay. All right. So what I want to do here before I create the student form, this dot student, oh no, this dot advisor equals um, dot get item, and that's going to be user. Okay. There we go. Okay. To the logged in user. Okay. Now, couple things. By default, I'm going to make this my default, and you're going to see this right here, right? Okay. Actually, I think that's going to set it to be a string rather than, there you go. Okay. That's going to set it. So that's going to set it to be by default the advisor. Okay. Great. What I also want to do is set this dot admin, and I'm going to set it to true if session storage. Okay. I just did it different. Ooh, I did the full screen again. Oh, I hate full screen. So what I did was, sorry, in the list component, I did an if statement. We'll see it in the ng init, I think. Wasn't in the list component, it was in the detail component. I just did it, right? Yes. So you see, I said that this admin equals true if this is session storage. What I just did was another way of doing the exact same thing, but I just set it to be the result of this admin, right? So now this admin and this advisor are set. Great. Okay. Pretty simple. Okay. Here, I'm going to, if this admin is not set, I'm going to just make sure get advisor. I'm just going to make sure I set it. Why is it not right? Okay, there's another way to do this. I'm just going to cheat. Okay. After I get the student, much easier to do it this way because then I don't have to worry about optional values. Bang. Okay. Bang. So now, if it's not an admin, the only way this can be set is the advisor. Okay. And I'm going to show you something that's going to be not obvious, but it's going to be important. Okay. We're going to disable, and I'm hoping it works because I haven't actually tried it yet. I didn't do this demonstration yet. Um, so we're going to actually do it here. So if admin, it's going to show this. Now I'm going to cheat a lot. And you go, what do you mean? Well, You remember this field, major, right? It has the same kind of feel as an advisor. So I want to go and just grab it. Okay. So student form, and I'm going to just set it to be advisor. And everywhere where major was, I'm just going to set it to be advisor. And so it's just going to be a field. Okay. This field isn't going to show up unless it's not admin. Note, it's just a div. You won't even see it. Um, Here's what I'm going to do is input ID equals, you know, I'm not sure what the better way to do this, but I'm going to put it in here. Okay. And I'm going to set it to be hidden equals true. So it should be hidden if it's not. I need to figure out how to, I forgot how to hide this view. Give me 1 second. I'm going to move some things down below. Huh, forgot how to get out of full screen. It's really simple. I've done it a billion times, but here it is. Okay. Sorry. Takes me a minute to remember how to do it. Um, so let's go to it. This should do it. So let's see. We're going to go to add a student. We are not a admin, right? If I believe, yes, I'm not an admin. So let's go to add a student. And you can see it added the student. Okay. Let's log out and make sure it worked. Oops. Let's make sure it worked. Let's log in as Mike and Mike. I'm gonna log in. Oops. Yeah, I don't care about the password. I'm gonna log in here, and you can see the advisor was in fact Ruth, right? Is the person that logged in. Perfect. Okay, that is exactly what I want to happen here. Now, as you can see, Major comes in. If I want to assign Ruth, I should be able to do that. And ta-da, Ruth is assigned. Okay. One thing that's not happening here, but probably should, is I'm not making sure the advisor actually exists. Um, we don't need to do that. But quite frankly, if I wanted to do that, I might have a way of getting a list of advisors, right, from the back end. And then as I'm going to enter it, instead of having an enter like an add a student here, I might have a drop down list, right? I might have a check on the server to see if the advisor was found and report back an error if the advisor was found. Pretty simple, right? And that's how I would manage that. Add a student, as you can see, it is actually kind of simple. Um, but we now have add a student working. You notice that there wasn't a lot of things to do here. It's actually quite simple. But let's go ahead do the list one. The list is going to be the one that's going to be add quite a bit of work. Um, and so what we're going to do here is I'm going to add a if and an admin field, right? And it's going to be right? There's a whole lot of things that aren't going to work. So we're just going to fix it as we come along. Come on, close it. Advisor. Yes. All right, so let's go fix all the things. We just did the add component. So the add component has the details that we need. I'm going to get the advisor and I'm going to get the admin. I don't need these, but I want those. I'm going to show you why in a second. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and put these in the list component inside. You can put it inside the constructor or the ng init. Um, because both of these should be set before we get there. Um, Advisor's a string. Admin is a Boolean. Okay. And so we can see that the list component now is happy about that, right? It's going to list the advisors, and then we're going to go ahead and, right? And you're like, it can't be that easy. Yeah, it actually is. But before I do that, I'm going to add the advisor in it so you can see who is logged in. Okay. Oops, I put that in the wrong spot, didn't I? Oh yeah, that is definitely the wrong spot. So let's grab that and put it here. That's where it belongs. Yes? Yay! So that we know we're logged in as Mike and we can see the advisors. There you go. Let's log out again. I need to figure the log out again. I didn't do it. But let's do the login and log in as Ruth. Ruth. And you can see, oh, wait a second, right? It's showing the Ruth. Why is it showing the Ruth? Because instead of doing the ngIf here like I did before, I didn't do it. I just did it for the admin. And so there you go. Yeah. Now, note all the other stuff works. The search works. The various other fields work. There's some things that aren't going to work. So if we go back to login, right, and we log back in as Mike, as the admin, when we click on advisor, nothing happens, right? And you're like, wait, why not? Why doesn't anything happen? Well, go back to your list component. If you go to sort, you can see it doesn't sort by thing. So what can I do? I can go else if value equals advisor, and then do the things for if this, um, nope, just grab it. Just, right? This is easier just to copy and paste it. Okay. And then, of course, I don't know why I have to format it before I need to do it, but I do need to do it. So I'm just going to take the advisor and I'm going to everywhere their name and I'm going to switch the name. So obviously I screwed that up. There we go. Okay. And now we have the advisor. I click on it. It's now going to sort. Yay. All right. Not very